Hello, galactic travelers, cosmic crew. What's up? Next video, I'm going to do Astrology Truth 002, right? And we'll go through the first 6 signs of the zodiac, which if you pull up my last video, it'll give a little bit of explanation on what astrology is, and at the end I have the natal chart. So if you're not looking and not used to looking at natal charts, take a look at that. My chart, personal natal chart, actually is just 15 degrees off from the actual original chart. So you can see the bottom half of that circle and those energies, right? And the first through the 6 houses. And I want to go into detail about those. But today was such a perfect opportunity to, if you're not used to following astrology and the energies, then today was a perfect day to talk about Mercury and Uranus. Because today Mercury went direct. Thank you, Creator. This Mercury retrograde was really intense, and especially for the first wavers, second wavers that are just starting this process of awakening, star seeds. It was the most intense one that I've been through in the past 11 months. A lot of us felt offline. We felt like our connection, to source, to our team, had been disrupted. Our faith was really tested in what our beliefs and what our thought process were going to be moving forward. So if you felt a swift kick in your ass today, if you felt like, personally for me, I feel like I made it through graduation, and now today was the first day on the job. Great insights on my mission, and what's coming next, because the Cosmic Christie and these videos are just a way to get things started. So many plans. And today, with Uranus and with the sun at 26 degrees of Aries, and Uranus at, the final degrees in the last decan, and, anything that's 27, 28, 29 degrees is, called the last decan of the house. And this is the strongest, of course, culmination of the end of the energy in that house. So having Uranus there and Andromeda at 27 degrees, which is where it has been stationed and been for a very, very long time. Uranus is all about these flash insights and massive change. Maru describes it as letting your freak flag fly, and that's just because a lot of people are still warming up to this whole consciousness thing and understanding and overstanding the programs that we were in. So, flash insight today, and it linked back to some things that our sister Aluna Ash has talked about, linking this 2018 timeline to 2012. And 2012 happened to be when I was at the height of my career as an entrepreneur, and 40 Under 40 and Young Entrepreneur Council, and when I started working to sell the service company to build artificial intelligence is what I was building back then, by the way. Now I know, when I look back, that shift that happened in 2012, I was poised in a lot of ways to make the shift then. However, I did not have an activation because I had so much that I needed to clear, and I had to come back to my heart. And there's more details of all that I want to share in the future. But the main thing that I would like to talk about right now is this artificial intelligence timeline, and how and explain the difference between what we talk about here on this channel and Aluna Ash and other spiritual guidance that is out there that you're drawn to, that talks about manifesting and coming from your heart space, purging emotions, purging guilt, you know, facing your dark side, realizing that whatever experience that you're experiencing around you is just mirroring your own self, that when you're triggered, these things are coming up for us to release and to cognize and identify that they are still within us. And in 2012, I was way too freaking comfortable, you know, financially, had a big head, was way ego-driven. And artificial intelligence was the last stinking project that I needed to be CEO or CMO or whatever of, okay? So that experience of losing the business and losing so many things is what brought me back to center. And now I know that that was a dark night of the soul that I went through. Now, the good news is, in this new energy and with the guidance and the first wavers and the ancients and the hybrids and the starseeds that have now fully gone through this process, that are now 100% online, a lot of us are helping everyone to understand what's happening, so that in most cases there is no need to go through a 4-year dark night of the soul. Okay. However, if you think about it in the timeline and the linear timeline of what has happened since 2012 in your life and on the world stage, right? These last 6 years have been in the new energy. Okay, but again, there weren't enough conscious beings, there weren't enough of us awake that were grounding that energy, that were consciously doing it and consciously manifesting. So all these past 6 years that really had happened was that we were manifesting, but we were manifesting the programs. We were manifesting what we were shown as reality through television, through your radio, the news, the propaganda, the politics. I mean, think of everything that has happened in these past 6 years. Now look at your life, and most people that I talk to, you know, there were big events that changed drastically our course from 2012 to 2013. Now, I'm speaking of this because I was responding to some videos, and thank you to subscribers that joined, but I was responding to a video that came out that is really pushing this new timeline in artificial intelligence, and strongly believe that the reason that this is still gaining such popularity and leading the collective, because this is, you know, it is a timeline I choose not to focus on, because I know that focusing on that will manifest it. However, we can't be ignorant and not talk about it and not help others to give them a chance to be aware of it. So, you know, this video is out there, and my gosh, now I can't even remember the name. And I really don't even want to tell you, because you know, there's a reason we don't want to continue to focus on it. But it talks about, you know, technology taking over the healthcare industry. There's all of these new revelations within technology that's going to cure this, that's going to cure that, that's going to give us free energy, which you know, yes, free energy, we need free energy, right? And it's available. And the only reason it's not here is because the people that put this video together want you to think that the only way we can get free energy is to build these technical machines that give it to us, or that the only way to cure cancer and the only way to heal, period, because, you know, healthcare industry isn't even needed in the new energy. That's how powerful we are whenever we balance as a human being, balance these light and dark sides, face the darkness of ourselves, accept the experiences that we created. We signed up for them. We have to understand that the technology is not evolution. See, the Draco Reptilian know. They know that they can't stop this change. It's happening. It is happening. It has happened. So now what they're attempting to do is make us perceive that evolution is technology, because that's what it's all been about the past 6 years, right? I mean, you know, I was in the technology industry, and my gosh, in 2000, Microsoft didn't even have, you know, .NET. Microsoft didn't have a development language. That's only been 18 years ago. You know, now the technology is moving so fast. And yes, these are things that are coming online. And yes, there is new technology to be had. But that technology is not the power. We have this power. We only get this power whenever we face our dark night of the soul, whenever we balance our own bodies and our own emotions, and when we understand why we have these experiences that trigger us to begin with. The AI timeline would have you believe that when you awaken and you know that they exist, you know that you've been enslaved, you're seeing through the illusions of all of it, they want you to believe that that is your evolution. When you start having visions, whenever, you know, OBEs, out-of-body experiences, astral travel, yet these are all gifts. However, they're not the true gift. These are gifts that we have, but the true insight and the true power of manifesting realities for the collective, manifesting for ourselves, can only be obtained through the balance of the mind and the body from your heart space. And see, they don't want us to do that. They're not able to do that. They're lower dimensional beings. That's what they used us for. That's why we were suppressed. That's why they're controlling our energy. That's why they experimented on us. That's why they had to use us in order to manipulate their timelines and time travel and do all this stuff that they've done, because they lost their ability to manifest. So what they've been having us do is manifest for them. The reality of the boxes, of the financial institutions, of us thinking that we have to rely on government to survive, whenever we come back to our true being and knowing the abilities that we have to manifest, the abilities that we have to astral travel, that's a part of it, and to set up these events with in conjunction with our higher self, in conjunction with Creator, in conjunction with our angels. That is evolution. And it's much more than that, because it's not just about, you know, we're some random human walking around on the planet who didn't have a mission when we came here, who wasn't, you know, depending on your DNA, you were, you know, either from a time perspective, from a linear time perspective, you're either, you know, an ancient being from ancient future past is what you want to call it. But, you know, some of us, especially the RH negative bloodlines, awoke faster because we were made to. Our blood was copper. And when we awaken, even subconsciously, didn't realize that when we were asleep, that we were living programs all very similar to each other, because we were clearing karma from all of our lineage, going back to millions of years ago. You know, if you find out that you're, for instance, I'm AB negative, and what I'm finding with AB negative is that we're a mixture, and it says that, you know, a lot of people say we have this golden blood. Well, the way that golden blood is reached is through the combination of the light and the dark, and under clearing and balancing both. That creates a harmonic frequency that is extremely powerful, which is why so many of us have found ourselves in these secret governmental experiments. Because, you know, when I found that out, here's a great example of how to clear and get over this crap. When I awoke to this, which just like, I don't know, 3 months ago, that I put these things together, because I knew I was involved in a hyperbaric chamber. I wouldn't call it experiment. It was more like they were testing it on us. So I was like one of the original people who was in a hyperbaric chamber. I knew that it was for my migraines. You know, whenever we'd call at 2 a.m., they'd meet me up at Texas A&M University, and they'd put me in this hyperbaric chamber. They'd drop me 25 miles below sea level. They'd put this huge rubber thing over my head, like an astronaut helmet that had 2 holes, and they told my parents that that was pure oxygen that they were pumping in there, and that they were helping heal migraines. I used to beg not to go, because whenever I got down there, I can't even describe the feeling, but I just felt like I wasn't there. But it wasn't a good not there. It was like a dark matter there. And I always knew that I was part of this, this experiment. And I actually, was proud of the fact that, some of my data helped create these hyperbaric chambers. And about 3 months ago, I kept seeing seeing that doctor in his white lab coat, and it happened to be around an Antares transit, and which was even trippier to me. And so I went investigating, and found out a lot about this doctor. And I'm not really ready to talk about all the details yet, but if you want to know, comment, okay? I'll go into detail about it. But had the new awareness, and I'm still not quite sure, of course, what all it was used for, but I do know I was dropped into a lower dimension, and I do know that I'm not exactly sure what all I was doing. I have some idea. I wasn't prepared to talk about this right now. But what I did whenever I figured this out, and it was time for me to know, the one thing that I took from the whole thing, besides wow, was holy shit. That's how powerful I was. That's why this series of events set up to get me there. Because evidently, whatever I was doing in that chamber, which, by the way, it wasn't pure oxygen. That gas is now used in space travel. And there was another crazy event that linked it with who bought the gas. Realize that I cannot tell you enough how powerful we are. There's another guy called Meta, M-E-T-A. I would suggest Googling that story because it will blow your mind. What we're finding out about how we've been manipulated and utilized was all because of our powers. And it was all because we have the ability to manifest, because we are evolutionary humans. And they aren't able to do these things anymore. Freak flag fly Uranus. Mercury went direct. I don't want to go too much longer. I know this was probably like, whoa, but it is Aries, and we are in the Master Decan, and I have no fear. Don't focus on it at all from a fear perspective. I'm not scared. I do know that they know that I know. I do know that I'm being tracked and followed, as a lot of us RH negatives are. And this is not an unusual story, by the way. It just happens to be my story. But we can't show focus to it. We can't focus on the fear, because if we believe in the fear, then it will manifest more. If we don't show it any fear, and if we don't concentrate, you know, I know a lot of RH negatives who are just now getting over the fear of leaving their house, a fear of going anywhere by themselves, because they have been manipulated so much in this life. So the most important thing to realize is just don't show it any focus, because if you don't focus on it, it's not in your reality. And don't show it any power. Just like that bullet when Neo in the Matrix, right? He focuses on the bullet, but just enough to whoosh out of the way. He doesn't go, oh my God, there's a bullet coming straight at me. No, it's about the energy that the bullet's coming. He dodges it, but then he shows it no matter. He shows it no fear. And that's all about this transit. And it's all about the evolution of humanity right now, in this first wave, in the second wave, and there's more waves coming, massive and more strong. The collective wave today, I felt in my heart, if you have a nervous energy, that's what it is. That's Uranus. It's your nervous system. And just a swift kick in the ass, because as we talk about these things, then we're putting it into the collective. And there are some that are never going to wake up. There are some that choose not to. And there are souls on this planet. I mean, I'm sorry. There are humans on this planet who don't even have souls because of these programs and agendas. So realize that. Realize that those of us who are on missions, which we're all on missions in one shape or form, whether it's doing this or music or writing or just drawing or dancing or any of the arts, make you more aware and conscious of your heart. So please know that there are what I speak of and what others speak of, and you can feel when we're telling you the truth. There's so many details of my awakening experience that I'll share, but they're absolutely unbelievable, which is why I documented them and time-stamped them, because I knew whenever I woke up and these things started happening, because I didn't have very many people talking like I'm talking to you. The first, you know, the very first waivers had nobody. I mean, you know, I at least had Lisa Transcendence Brown and found a great astrologist that walked through a lot of it. But, you know, you discern for yourself and discern what I say, okay? You know, really do a heart check. Anybody that says anything to you. Understand, too, that some of the things I say you might not agree with, but that's okay. That's your DNA template. That doesn't mean that what I'm saying isn't true, and other people are going to feel the same way. But when you speak about it, the resonance and the harmonics of that frequency, of balance, of the heart, that's what you feel. And so you know, no matter what, that I believe everything I just said. Because there's no other way to live in this new energy. It's integrity based. So whatever we do, we just need to stay focused on that and help as many as we can to make sure that they're at least aware that you can be awake but still not have ascended. You can be awake and still be controlled and manipulated if you don't do the spiritual work. And in the beginning, it's hard as shit because we don't understand why it's happening and our ego fights us. But that's what we're here to help everyone through. Okay? I love you guys. I call on the highest timeline of all dimensions, of all space and time, and this now. April 16th, 2018. All right, real quick. 432 hertz. One deep breath. One shallow breath. Hold it. Push it. Shallow. I hope that makes you feel better. One deep breath, one shallow breath, one deep breath, one shallow breath. Deep breath in, hold it. Deep breath out, hold it. Just that's conscious breathing, which gets you back in your consciousness. So wherever you are, if anything triggers you, first realize it's triggering. And realize you need to take a breath. That's the start of the process. Love you guys. See you soon. Can I get a hoot hoot?